In this section, we're talking about the basics of management, and there is nothing more foundational in a manager's work than good communication. Being able to communicate effectively and transparently will help you build trust, set expectations, resolve conflicts, and overcome challenges. Let's begin with some of the important principles of effective communication. Start by designing your message. Think about who you are communicating to, what do you want your audience to take away from the message, and what result do you expect. Do you need them to take an action following the message? Are you sourcing for feedback and opinions, or just providing a general update? Make sure you use multiple channels to deliver your message. Different people have different learning preferences. For some of your team members or stakeholders, it might be easiest to receive information verbally, while others would better understand and retain your message in writing. So make sure to follow up meetings with a summary email or discuss a written message you send to the team in your next team meeting. Be transparent. The only way you can build trust with your team members and stakeholders is to communicate honestly and transparently. Repeat, repeat, repeat. No matter how much we wish for it, our team members rarely grasp our message the first time we deliver it. Using different channels and wording, we should continue to repeat and reinforce our message until we're sick of it and then some more. Only then we can be certain that our communication has been received effectively. And now, let's look into some of the most common types of communication you will have with your team. Providing instructions and updates to the team is typically considered top-down communication, and that is to a great extent true. The goal of this communication is for you, as a manager, to deliver a message to your team, which often results in some actions that need to be taken by them. However, for your instructions and updates to be effective, you need to turn this top-down communication into a two-way discussion. Allow your team members to ask questions, share concerns, and provide feedback. Make sure that you incorporate their feedback and address their concerns before proceeding. Meetings form a big part of our workday, and sadly, if they're not planned and executed properly, they can be a big waste of time. So before you even send the invite, ask yourself whether a meeting is the appropriate format for the goals you're trying to achieve. Meetings are best suited for decision-making, brainstorming, and discussion, and of course, bonding and team building. If you're not using the meeting for one of those purposes, you may want to consider using other channels to communicate. Once you have defined the purpose of your meeting, it is time to determine the invitees. Be mindful of people's time and invite only the participants who will contribute to achieving the goal of the meeting. If your goal is to make a decision, invite the stakeholders who have a say in the matter. Anyone else who needs to be informed of the decision can be notified afterwards with an email. The next important step is to build the agenda. Make sure you include all the topics that are crucial for the meeting and leave enough time for discussion. Share the agenda with the participants in advance so they can prepare. During the meeting, you should provide a brief summary of the topic and the desired result of the meeting. Then go over each topic on the agenda and solicit everyone's input. Keep in mind that some people are less comfortable speaking up in meetings, but this does not mean that they have nothing to say. Make a special effort to reach out to those quiet participants and ask for their opinions. This way, you will be certain you have gotten all different perspectives and will surely get a better result from a meeting. And now, to the last type of communication in today's lesson, the informal interactions with your team and stakeholders. Before the pandemic, we all took informal interactions in the workplace for granted. We did not have to make any effort to chat informally with our colleagues. Just being at the office was enough to provide us with our fix of friendly conversations. However, now, a lot of companies still work in a hybrid or remote fashion, and informal interactions need to be more intentional. Even though it sounds counterintuitive to plan for informal conversations, you should definitely do that if you want to keep your team engaged and happy at the workplace. We spend a very large portion of our life at work, and no matter how much we're focused on productivity, we should not allow for our workplace to lose its human face. So plan some time for yourself and your team for non-work related topics and simple aimless chit-chat, and see how your mood at work improves. Good communication is the scaffolding of all the relationships and projects you will have at work. Make sure you cover all the basics of good communication. Design a clear message. Use multiple channels of communication, transparency, repetition. And don't forget to apply them in the various types of communication at the workplace.